The chilling case of Miyuki Ishikawa, the Japanese serial killer. Welcome to The Most Evil, where we delve into the minds of history's most notorious serial killers. Today, we're uncovering the dark tale of Miyuki Ishikawa, a Japanese midwife who, along with her accomplices, was responsible for the deaths of dozens of infants. This horrendous series of crimes occurred during the post-World War II US occupation of Japan and became infamously known as the Kotobuki Sanin incident. Miyuki Ishikawa was born in 1897 in Japan, where she grew up and eventually pursued a career in midwifery. By the 1940s, she had risen to a position of considerable responsibility, working as a senior midwife at the Kotobuki Maternity Hospital in Tokyo. In the 1940s, there were many babies in her maternity hospital, and Miyuki Ishikawa found herself facing what she perceived to be something of a quandary. The parents of many of these infants were poor and unable to raise their children properly without financial struggle, and she herself was unable to help the infants because of a lack of social and charitable services. Japan, devastated by the aftermath of World War II, was facing extreme poverty, social upheaval, and overpopulation. As families struggled to make ends meet, it was during this turbulent time that Ishikawa's horrific crime spree began. Ishikawa's crimes centered around the murder of infants born to impoverished or unmarried parents. Along with several accomplices, including her husband Takeshi Ishikawa and a local doctor, she convinced desperate parents that they would be unable to properly care for their babies due to financial constraints. Instead of providing care and protection, Ishikawa and her team left these infants to die through calculated neglect or outright murder. While she never took direct action such as poisoning or violence, her refusal to care for the newborns sealed their fate. The death toll was catastrophic, with estimates suggesting that between 85 to 169 infants perished under her watch. Miyuki Ishikawa's methodology was cold and systematic. She took advantage of the vulnerable position of parents and manipulated them into believing that their infants were better off dead than alive. By exploiting the desperate economic conditions in post-war Japan, she justified her actions as a mercy killing, a twisted rationalization for the horror she unleashed. Ishikawa and her accomplices would receive payments from parents who believed the hospital was facilitating adoptions. Instead, the babies were left to die through starvation, dehydration, and a lack of medical care. What made her crimes even more horrifying was the collaboration with other professionals. Local doctors helped fabricate death certificates, and her husband assisted in concealing the crimes, making the operation seem legitimate for a time. The investigation into the Kotobuki Sanin incident began in 1948, after two police officers accidentally stumbled upon the remains of several infants in a temple cemetery. This discovery led to an in-depth investigation, where it was revealed that the deaths were far from natural. As authorities dug deeper, they traced the deaths back to Miyuki Ishikawa and her associates. The lack of proper documentation and the alarming number of deaths at the maternity hospital raised immediate red flags, forcing law enforcement to look closer at what had transpired behind closed doors. Two police officers from the Waseda police station accidentally found the remains of 5 of Ishikawa's victims on January 12, 1948. She and Takeshi were arrested on January 15, 1948. the victims were deserted children, and so she insisted that parents were responsible for their deaths. Upon further investigation, the police found over 40 dead bodies in the house of a mortician. 30 corpses were later discovered in a temple. The sheer number of dead bodies recovered. Miyuki Ishikawa's actions can be viewed as an extreme and twisted response to the societal pressures and devastation of post-war Japan. Her clinical detachment from the value of human life, particularly that of infants, suggests a profound lack of empathy. Some experts argue that she saw herself as a pragmatist, solving a problem that Japan faced with overpopulation and poverty, though in reality, her actions were pure cruelty masked as mercy. The story of Miyuki Ishikawa is a haunting example of how societal pressures, economic desperation, and a lack of accountability can lead to horrific crimes. Known as the demon midwife, Ishikawa's actions during the Kotobuki Sanyin incident left an indelible scar on post-war Japan.
If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content on true crime and psychological analysis. Remember to stay vigilant, and until next time, stay safe.